Hi there, Lisa here. I have a pocket idea to share with you today. I was working on a mini album and I really like waterfalls, and there are a gazillion and one different videos all over the place about how to build waterfalls. They're really simple to do, but in a mini album, it gives you double the space for photographs. I was working on trying to do that with pockets this morning. I was building them with cardstock and it really wasn't working out. It was just getting too bulky and too thick. So I literally picked up an envelope off of my table and said, well, there's a ready-made pocket right there. I can do that. I can figure that out. So I played with it for a little while this morning and figured out how to get the waterfall look with two envelopes, and literally just two envelopes. And you can do this little page flip if you put it in your journal this direction, or it can be a photo waterfall if you put it in your book in this direction. The bonus is each little pocket has a little photo mat and or journaling card. Now you could put pieces of ephemera in here. You could make additional little booklets and put them in these pockets. You could make all of this just really nice light colored paper so that you can write all over these pages, whatever you wanted to do with them. So for me, it's about adding extra space for photographs. That's really my aim, is to get as many photographs into a journal or a mini album as I can. So let me show you how I did this. Here's another version I did, and I kind of did it going in this orientation with the pockets down here. I think this is super cute, although you got to be careful not to get too chunky or it just isn't going to lay flat inside of a journal. So grab two envelopes. Let me show you how to do this. I'm using the dollar store Mead envelopes. Really, these came from the dollar store. These are the non-security envelopes, so they are white on the inside, and you're only going to need two of them. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole decorating process because I'm pretty sure you all know how to cut paper and measure and all that kind of stuff. But to make this, I'm going to cut the flap of this envelope off, but I'm going to cut it right up against the opening of the envelope here. This one measures 3.5 inches from this edge to this edge. So that's what I'm going to cut it at, is 3.5 inches. If you're working with something a little bit different, like these craft envelopes, I would cut it right up against this edge right here and work with whatever that width is. Doesn't matter what the width is. The measurements I'm going to give you are for a 9.5 inch envelope because that's what I'm working with today. So these measurements, keep that in mind, are for a 9.5 inch envelope. Grab your scoreboard. Envelope number 1, with the cut edge up at the very top of your scoreboard, up here at the top, we're going to score that at 3 3/4. 3 3/4. I'm going to flip that bottom to top and I'm going to score it again. This is really lightweight paper, so make sure you don't poke a hole, but make sure you get a really good score on there because it really will fold better if you take the time to double score it. The second envelope, and I'm going to put a 1 right here on my first envelope. That'll be covered with paper, so I'm not going to see it. The second one, cut edge up at the top. We're going to score this at 4, 4.5, and 5.5. 4, 4.5, and 5.5. Now I wanted a 1/2 inch space right here up at the top of every one of my little pocket flaps so that you could write in these little spaces right here. So that was something I was aiming for when I was creating this, is I wanted those spaces. And by scoring this the way I just did, we're going to get those spaces. This is envelope number 2. Right here, this 1/2 inch space right here, I want you to kind of put a little squiggly line on there. We're going to fill that with adhesive. So let's go ahead and fold and burnish. This is going to take all of maybe 3 minutes from beginning to end here. We're going to fold envelope number 1 on that score line we created. Give it a really good burnish. And then envelope number 2, I want you to fold on the center score line that we did. There was 4, 4.5, and 5.5. So go ahead and fold on that one right there, that center score line. Give it a really good burnish. So we're going to put adhesive right in here before we do any more folding. So right in there, right where I made that little squiggle, you're going to put some adhesive in there. Don't go over the score lines on either side. Just put a little bit of glue in there and stick it shut. Give it just a second to grab. You need to let that adhesive grab the paper fibers. We're going to fold back on that score line right there that we made on the 4 inches. Going to fold that back, and we're going to fold this way with that other score line, the 5.5 inch score line. This 1/2 inch space right here, this right here, we're going to attach that to this score line right here. We're just going to slide this right in between the 2 pages of this other envelope, making sure that all of our cut edges are on the same side. So this one here, we're going to turn this over, and from the score line here to the outer edge, just put some liquid glue in there or tape or whatever you're working with. You don't need much. This is really thin paper. Making sure my open edges are at the top. My open edges are at the top. I'm going to set that down right next to that score line, making sure I'm all even along the bottom here. And there you have it. I told you that was simple. Super, super simple. So there's page 1. There's page 2 with our 1/2 inch space. Here's page 3 with our 1/2 inch space. And here's page 4. Now you could create a 1/2 inch space right here as well, so that you can fold this one up, but I was using this one as the adhesive point. I was gluing the back of this one straight down to a page, so I didn't really need to put a score line there, but I would cut my paper 1/2 inch shorter so that I have the illusion of that 1/2 inch space right there. So I'm just going to drop my scrap to here and leave that open for a little bit of writing. And then you have all of your pockets right here on the sides. When you're making your photo mats or inserting things into the sides for the pockets, you can't go beyond your interior score line here. Even though the pocket will open up all the way, there's a bend right there, and you don't want to put anything in there that's going to get bent, or it's just going to be a bugger to get it in and out. So you're only going to make your little photo mats for the inside of the pockets from this end to this score line right here. Same here, from this end to this score line right here, and the width of whatever you want. So you could punch thumb holes in here. You can do all kinds of different things. And I think it would be really super cute too to put it into a journal in this orientation, so that you've got these little page flips going in this direction. And then you could put tags and all kinds of different things in them. So there's my pocket idea for the day. I also think that it would be really cute if you tied it with a ribbon, put a ribbon underneath it and tied it all the way around to keep it shut. You could be twine, it could be ribbon, it could be a multitude of different things. So there you have it. I'll say again, there's my idea for the day, as I was working on something else today. I hope you like the idea. Let me know what you think, and I hope to talk to you soon.